Hi, I'm Kat, and today I'm showing you how to make this miniature bookshelf out of coffee stir sticks and a broken picture frame. So I'm going to use coffee stir sticks, and only about 9 or 10 of them are whole coffee stir sticks, and then the rest of them are scraps. I'm going to put these together in groups of 3, but let me start by telling you that not all coffee stir sticks are created equal. You want to avoid anything that has like chipped edges, bent, curved, or also tapered at the bottom or on any particular side. Those are completely unusable. You're going to look for basically uniform coffee stir sticks about the same size and width. They're about 5.5 inches, and I need them to be 6 inches in this case, so I'm going to add an extra 1/2 inch piece onto each of the coffee stir sticks. Now, in order to do this, I don't want the seams to all line up because that will make that whole structure a lot weaker. So I'm just going to stagger the way. Where the seams land. And now that I've glued 3 coffee stir sticks to make a 6-inch piece, I'm going to clamp them together in order to smush them into a solid bar. Now I have 4 6-inch pieces, and I also went on ahead and made 4 2 3/4 inch pieces. Once you've got those created, go on ahead and sand them out to get rid of any sort of rough finishes. Place 2 of the 6-inch pieces side by side in a parallel line, and then place 1 of the 2 3/4 inch piece in between them. You're going to place this one about 1/2 inch off from the bottom of the bar, and place another piece at the top, all the way at the top. Stack these one on top of the other to make sure you have them lined up. And if you have them lined up well, go on to the next step. Next, I'm going to mark off where I want my shelves to go. So I need a total of 5 lines on here, 1 at the top, 2 at the bottom, and 2 in the middle on the opposite side. Place one of the structures on top of the other and use a permanent marker or a pen or whatever you have to place the marks on the other structure as well. Now I'm going to cut 1-inch pieces to make shelves. I needed 30 of them because I have 10 shelves with 3 bars each. Glue those in place, stacking them one on top of the other to make sure they're lined up perfectly. And then you can begin to close in the shelves. You're going to measure from the top to the bottom of each one and cut the wood to fit. Then stack them in groups of 3, glue them in place, and again continue to stack one structure on top of the other to make sure they're equal. Then I'm going to measure from each of the boxes to the edge of the shelf and cut 3 each of those shapes as well. Stack one on top of the other and take this time to go on ahead and make sure that everything is equal. My top shelf is a little warped, as is one of my bottoms, so I'm going to fix that before I go on to the next step. But in the meantime, I did go on ahead and cut 1-inch pieces to go in between. I needed 9 of these total. 5 for each of the corners of the shelves, and then 4 for the corner of the total structure. Once those are stacked and glued in place, you can lay the top structure on top of it and glue that as well. And I'm going to give this a light coating of acrylic gold paint, and then I'm going to go over this with enamel paint. But I'm going to go over it with the acrylic first, because the enamel firstly is more expensive. I want to make sure all those gaps are filled in, And I also want to make sure that the wood is not soaking up my enamel paint. It gets to soak up my acrylic instead. It also makes sure that if I miss any spots on the enamel, then it's not as noticeable. And this is a picture frame, or rather it's a poster frame. I recently moved, as you guys know, back in August and September and June and July. I don't even know what month it was. It took forever. But during that time period, my son broke this piece of a poster frame that I've had forever. And while I was initially upset, I realized later that it meant I had 16 by 22 inches of glass for any projects that I wanted. And the bonus is I can cut it with scissors. So I've used scissors to cut these to fit, and then a little E6000 to glue them in place. If you make the shelf slightly smaller than the inside of the wood, you can slide that in with the E6000 and not have to worry about scraping up any paint. The E6000 will secure it, and as it dries, it will create a very tight seal. And I've done all those shelves except the top and the bottom. So I cut a top piece. So I cut a top piece of bit, added E6000 all the way around, and just press that in place with the glue in place. Once this dries, I can also go through with my X-Acto knife and scrape off any extra E6000 from the sides, like you see, and also use some nail polish remover to remove any sort of residue from my fingerprints, the glue, or the paint from off the glass. Now you can accessorize your shelf, and that's it. You're done. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Bye.